Hello everyone, I'm here with Robert. I just met him actually down at downtown Disney, and we're going to talk a little bit about why he's out here. He's living on the streets. But Robert, maybe you can explain a little bit about how you ended up on the streets.
Well, I have my mom, my brother, and myself. We've been together for forever, and my mom broke her hip about 6 months ago now, and she's been in a rehabilitation center, rehabbing. My brother, he does his own thing, which is he's on the streets also.
Yeah.
He's younger than myself, and I'm basically here due to a breakup with a female. Plus my mother's in, like I said, recovery. My brother's out here, and with my illness, I'm doing the best I can.
What's your illness? Can you explain?
Deteriorating bone disease. It's where the bones are, in better word, aging quicker than I am.
Yeah.
Becoming brittle. The cushions in my neck and my back shrank down, and that's the illness. It becomes pressure on the spine. Yeah. Causes shaking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If I wanted to get it all fixed, it would be probably a course of 5 years in recovery, some extensive surgeries and stuff, and we've tried to work it all out. I've gotten my neck done. I've had 3 vertebrae fixed in my neck, but I had a pin pop out from what was done. They have to locate that now and fix that, plus the other work that's left.
Wow. Now, I spoke at City Council recently about the condition at the shelter. What I'm hearing is that there's a lot of times people that might steal from people, or of course there's sometimes people that want to do drugs or sell drugs or whatever, or they're bullies, those types of things. Now, is that part of why you don't want to go into a shelter?
As I've grown up, I've developed into my own person, and my own person, I believe in right and wrong. Yeah. And I wasn't necessarily the best kid on the block back then, but over time I've grown into a person that I think that all people have a good point to them, and I try to give a fair shake. Yeah. But now, like in a shelter, everybody's going through hard times, and in my experiences with being on the street, it's very easy to become complacent with your property, and it leaves the door wide open for opportunists. Yeah. And I'm the kind of person that if I was to see something like that, I would probably have to take matters into my own hands, which would put me into jail. Yeah. And to avoid that, knowing the person I am, I've chosen not to go to a shelter. Yeah. I have a lot of friends who have been in shelters, and the general consistency in the whole thing is there's just as much bad things going on in that shelter as there are out here on the streets. Yeah, that's what I hear too. And so for me, that's why I avoid the shelter at all costs, because I know the kind of person I am, and I don't want to hurt nobody. Yeah. I don't want to be ripped off at the same token. Yeah. So I keep my stuff on point for myself here, out here on the street. Yeah. And for me, I'm troubled with the fact that there is something like $440 million allocated to helping the homeless situation. Yeah, in the county. And I really have to say, I'm not a dumb man. I'm not the smartest man, but I know that there's no way $440 million has been used up in this program. Some people, I have a few friends that have gotten places. Yeah. And that's fantastic. And it's a good thing. They've had kids with them. So I think that becomes a priority pretty much in the situation as our government speaking. They help the people that have the children, and that's great. But when you get into these programs, if you don't jump through their hoops exactly as they want, you're out. you're just flat out. Which is not taking care of the problem. I think that the money could be used in other ways. I think these affiliations of like Illumination Foundation, other programs, they're all good. They're geared in the right direction, but they're not being properly maybe handled the right way. Somebody's coming up on money.
They're kind of bad management, would you say?
I would say so. They're only willing to go to an extent of what's convenient for them. And it's not putting down the programs as much as maybe the following up from our government to them. Because there should be a lot more being done, in my opinion. They can build more places for us that are out here and make things a little bit easier to be taken care of. If the follow-ups would be taken care of, I think there'd be a lot better result. And the fact that the Illumination Foundation has helped many people, I think the overall project is not being completely taken care of. There's got to be more opportunities for the homeless people to be able to get off the streets and stay off the streets.
And one thing I'm finding is some of the housing that they're putting, some of the people like the IF, for instance, it's the same situation as in the shelters, where there's people that maybe they're not trying to stay sober and get things done right in their life, putting them together with people that are trying to do those things, and it causes all kinds of problems.
But then, I mean, how do you really weigh those factors? There might be those people that have been doing alcohol or drugs or whatever the problem is. They've been doing them so long that now in their lives they actually do need it, or they become really sick.
Oh, sure they are.
And there's got to be like medical and stuff like that that maybe could open the doors a little bit instead of trying to cut them back. The situations that I've seen is there are plenty of components out there, and if they got brought together the right way, it'd be miracles for people. But then you've got the people that they're going to take advantage of what's right now, knowing that they don't really give a damn, and they'll do what they can right then, and then they'll walk away, which is a time waster for the people that really do want help. Like for myself, I have deteriorating bone disease. My brother, he's got an addiction to alcohol. My mother, she's 81 years old. And I'd love to be able to take care of my mother and live in a home where she could spend her final time in this world. But then, you know, maybe not everybody's up to doing so for their families. It's a flip of the coin, you know, you never know. And I understand that on their behalf as far as the shelters go. So they're only going to provide what they feel is necessary. But at the same token, I think that if they would keep a more open mind and understand that there are a lot of different people, a lot of different scenarios that can be put together over a period of time where they would understand, okay, maybe us throwing them out of the program wasn't maybe the best thing. Maybe we could have gotten them into a counselor or tried to understand their situation. They're only going to go so far. And the people that are in the shelters need to understand that there are always going to be guidelines. Everybody's got to live by some kind of rule.
That's right.
You can't run by your own law of the land. It just doesn't work that way anymore. And I mean, it's sad to see people that are like here in front of Disneyland. I see a lot of people will walk off the sidewalk to avoid people that are homeless. There's still people. There's still they're still here. They've always been here. I'm sure there were homeless back when Disneyland was built.
Yeah.
And I'm sure throughout the course of time there's been homeless. There's always going to be homelessness.
Yeah.
Whether we can help the overall situation, that is what needs to be addressed, I think. And with as much money that has been allocated to helping, I just don't see where that money's been maybe spent on the right things.
That's right.
Somebody's coming up in pocket, I think.
So.
That's my opinion. I could be wrong. I seriously don't think I am, though.
Yeah, and I've heard multiple reports saying that's kind of what's happening, but the permanent supportive housing seems to be the solution according to UCI. It costs twice as much to leave people on the streets and criminalize them versus give them permanent supportive housing. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all, but...
I've heard something about that, and I mean, to leave people out to be having to fend for themselves, and look, when people get desperate, they're going to do what they got to do. You know, when you got a family to feed and you're not making ends meet, you're going to do what you got to do. I'm not saying that by them not helping us, it's making us criminals, but it is a factor. It really is. People will do what they got to do.
Yeah.
And it's sad to hear in the news all the time, well, the homelessness, the homeless. But yet what's really being done about it? They can report on it all day long, every day of the week.
Yeah.
That it's a problem. Well, it is a problem. It is a problem. The problem lies in the communication and understanding really what is the problem.
I think, like you said, the funds aren't going where they should.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were able to build a facility where people got a room, and then it was up to them to be able to maintain it, and still have the opportunities of, say, food stamps or you know, just dropping rents down and making it less amount of money, they're still getting their money through these programs by having these people live there. And I think they'd be a lot more surprised on how many people could turn their lives around by giving a little bit more help, maybe. Understanding that, you know, you take a person off the streets that's been on the streets for 5 years, they're not going to change overnight. Even if they do have a place to live, they're not going to change overnight. So there needs to be maybe some other program that comes along and gives them counseling, gives them the tools to be able to become a regular person in society again and be beneficial for themselves and for the outlook of their community.
That's right. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate it.
Hey, Art, no problem. Awesome. That's just my opinion on the matter.
Thank you. Yeah, so, and that's my thought too. Hopefully get more resources to people, and maybe some of them never had really good job training or counseling that they've needed all their life. So, yeah, that's something that definitely could help, I think. So please share the video. Do join Homeless Advocates for Christ on Facebook. Pray for the homeless. Pray, of course, for more permanent supportive housing. We're here in front of Disney. I'm doing a little street preaching out here. But let's pray for the lost souls too, that they come to the Lord. And remember, Jesus was homeless too. Luke 9:58 tells us that. So anyways, I thank you for your prayers and support. May God bless you all as you seek first His kingdom always. Bye-bye.